1200 a.m. Well, yesterday, Javy Baez with a remarkable base running play. Throw pulling Will Craig off the base, chasing him back. Here comes Wilson in to score, but Javy still got a touch first ahead of the force for the run to count. Throw gets away. Baez gets down to second, eventually would come in to score. It was absolutely incredible. Justin Steele, Anthony Rizzo loving it in the dugout. Taylor McGregor, what were the guys saying in the clubhouse afterwards?
Well, they were all laughing at the fact that Javy watched Wilson tag home and then called him safe and then proceeded to run to first base. So they were all cracking up about that. But David Ross said it best. He said, Javy just reminds you of the kid in Little League who's just naturally better than everybody else. And he wreaks havoc on the base paths. He's an electric player, and he thinks that's why fans fall in love with him. So they were certainly having a lot of fun with that. But they just said, that's El Mago, Javy being Javy.
Yeah, the magician indeed. All right, the Reds lineup is brought to you by Ford, and here's what David Bell puts out there. Second in the National League in runs per game, third in on base, second in slug, and the guy at the top of the order, in fact, the top two guys, Winker and Castellanos, as good a 1-2 punch maybe as there is right now in baseball. Naquin and Stevenson along with Barnhart, the top five, and that lineup will go up against Adbert Alzolay.
Yeah, and the starting pitcher for the Cubs is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Adbert Alzolay, obviously we've getting very familiar with his slider. It's a nasty pitch. He's a fastball slider guy, mostly sinker slider. Occasional changeup will sprinkle in there, but been filling up the strike zone very, very well, and it's been a big difference maker for him. We saw that last outing. The outing before that, he just keeps continuing to have growth here. Lets his defense take care of the work, trusts his stuff. He's developing into a bright young pitcher in this game.
Check out the defensive setup for the Cubs. It's brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield. Through it all, Peterson, Happ, and Ortega in the outfield. The Gold Glover, Javier Baez at short. Bote at third. On the right side, Sogard and Bryant. Rizzo sits for the third straight game, and Contreras behind the plate. Jesse Winker climbs in. What a start to the season for this guy. And Adbert Alzolay. On a chilly afternoon, away we go. Right-hander delivers. And a foul tip into the mitt of Contreras. And it's 0-1. Jesse Winker, the OPS up over 1,000. He's got a good eye. He's got good power. Bunted towards third, but foul. And now it's 0-2.
Gotta love to see this when you're the pitcher. Wide open third base. Go ahead. Get a feel for trying to bunt one down there in this cold, windy weather. Flip a little slider in there. Find yourself 0-2. Chalk that away as a memory for later in the game.
Yeah, that we'll discuss momentarily. I think it's an interesting play. In there, got him looking. He put himself in an 0-2 spot. Winker and Bruce Dreckman having a chat. And on 3 pitches, Jesse Winker is gone.
Sometimes you watch a hitter and they argue and what they're talking about. I don't know if he just didn't see this or what, but that is a beautiful backdoor slider right there. Almost cutter type action. Paints the outside corner. Beautiful pitch.
So 1 away, and here is Nick Castellanos. Castellanos and Dreckman having a little chat. And Alzolay back to work. And that one lined into left field, and that's a base hit. A fastball in his hands, and he rips it into left field for a knock.
Appears the game plan early on, Boog, is to go ahead and swing. You saw it with Winker, first pitch of the game. Castellanos wastes no time here. Goes out there, hits the first pitch running back in on him. As a pitcher, though, that's something you like to see. It's, you guys want to be aggressive? Cool. I'm going to continue to pump fastballs. I'm just going to put them in a better location. Do the same thing right here, get a ground ball, double play.
I love Nick Castellanos, by the way, going old school with like the zip-up sweatshirt underneath his jersey. That's high school in Canada right there, boy. First one in for a strike to Tyler Naquin. Time for our keys to the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. And Ryan Dempster, we'll get to those in a moment. A swing and a miss. All right, let's check out your keys to this game.
Yeah, well, the guy at first base is one of those keys right there. Keep Castellanos away from the base pass, away from damage. Play your game. Don't let the emotions catch you up. Use them, fuel them, but don't let them get them out of your game. And pedal to the metal. Finish the month of May strong, playing great baseball all the way through the end of the month here.
0-2 to Naquin. Outside corner, and Dreckman rings him up. Reds hitters haven't been so happy, at least thus far. And 2 down. Alzolay, though, throwing BBs so far.
Well, in this pitch, sure, what does it miss? 2 inches off the plate, but he's being aggressive. Taking an 0-2 count, your best leverage count as a pitcher, and not wasting any time, not wasting a pitch, throwing a perfect pitch. And that might miss by a couple inches, but when you've already been established and you're going to throw strikes, that umpire will tend to call that a lot more.
2 down, and here is Tyler Stevenson, the catcher who is getting a chance to play first with their multitude of injuries. Joey Votto out with an injured thumb. Moustakas had played some at first. He's got a heel/foot issue. And so it's Stevenson at first. One other point on Alzolay. Bruce Dreckman or not, he hasn't walked any of the last 87 batters he's faced. He's throwing strikes. And there's one for you.
And you see it in his demeanor out there, the confidence that he's exuding. I know it's hard to notice or quantify sometimes, but the way he walks around the mound, how he's warming up pregame, he gets ahead 0-2. He's like, cool, where do you want it? What date do you want me to throw it on that dime? I'll throw it right there.
The 1-1. In the air, shallow right field, coming on. Ortega can't get it. It squirts past him. Castellanos to third, and they'll hold him up. Into second and safe is Stevenson, and they're at second and third. That one was knocked down by the wind, and Ortega couldn't make the play.
Sometimes it's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it. Just reaches out. He gets a good jump on this ball. He comes in and just comes up short there. A great aggressive play. Did a good job of actually getting to that ball and knocking it down, because if that ball scoots under the glove and doesn't hit his glove, it ends up being a 1-0 lead for the Reds. Now you got to go out there and make a pitch.
And the batter now will be Tucker Barnhart. So the catcher climbs in on that left side. And this one is lifted in the air out to shallow center. Javy is there. And that's the third out. He pitches around a couple of hits. We're midway in the first by Binny's Beverage Depot. Binny's is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs since April 17th. Cubs leading the majors in OPS and runs per game. Jock Peterson leads it off. Chris Bryant, another homer yesterday, his 11th. Baez hits third. Happ will clean it up. No Rizzo today. Wilson Contreras hits fifth. Ortega, Bote, Sogard, the top 8. And they'll go up against the guy who's making his big league debut, Vladimir Gutierrez.
Yeah, the starting pitcher for the Reds is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. You see his numbers at AAA Louisville. Vladimir Gutierrez making his major league debut tonight. Signed by the Reds out of his native Cuba. Big, strong arm, fastball, curveball guy. See what he bodes and presents real well right here, but...
All right, let's check out the defensive setup for the Cincinnati Reds, and it's brought to you by Sloan. Winker, Naquin, Castellanos left to right of the outfield. Schrock, Farmer, India, Stevenson on the infield, and Barnhart with those 2 gold gloves does a pretty good job framing back there. And he is behind the plate. Jock Peterson climbs in. And the first pitch of Vladimir Gutierrez's major league career. And a fastball in for a strike. Jock Peterson, since coming off the IL, has been a big boost to this team. He has fit in from the jump in the clubhouse and on the field. A swing and a miss right there. And this right-hander, 25 years old, native of Cuba. They signed him in August of 2016 for a little under $5 million. 0-2. Swing and a fly ball in the air out towards shallow left center. And coming on and making the grab is Winker. I think Naquin was having some issues out there. All right, let's check out our wind conditions, and they're brought to you by Weather Applied Metrics, powered by Tomorrow.io, the weather intelligence platform. Holy Toledo! Let's add all those up. So we got 40. No, I can't do it. All right, so the wind's blowing in a lot. Don't hit it to left, hit it to right. There you have it. Check out MarqueeSportsNetwork.com/weather for more details. The red means the wind is blowing in, and to left, center, and center, it is blowing in a lot.
100 feet. I added it up real quick.
100.
100. When you put all those numbers together. Wow. There's 100 feet of hurting wind.
Hurting?
Hurting. Not a hurting, like not sheep coming in,
right.
But like hurting the ball.
Hurting. But not from a pitcher standpoint. It's a helping wind.
It's a helping wind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you talked about Naquin on that ball right there. His first step was back. And I don't think he could have got to that ball.
Foul ball up the bat of Bryant. The count 2-1 on Chris. Hoping one more day of rest does Anthony Rizzo some good. It's a Cubs team that is hot. Won 10 of 13, 4 in a row. Fourth best run differential in the National League.
You wonder, too, with a guy like Rizzo, if the fact that it's cold, it's windy, you know, when you're dealing with a back and big muscles like that, the last thing you want to do is let Mother Nature have any effect on you. So wait till it warms up a little bit again.
No doubt. 3-1 now. Line to right center. Naquin positioned perfectly and able to catch that one. Might have been knuckling. It's certainly the wind knocking that one down 2 away.
Even his outs are hit on the screws. Scalded that ball to center field. Like you said, I don't know if it's knuckling or the wind just knocked that down, but kind of handcuffed Naquin in center field. Another hard hit ball for Chris Bryant.
And that's really been the story this year, hitting the ball hard, and a trend that he has reversed. Early in his career, he had rockets all over the place. It had been in decline a bit the last couple of years, and certainly health factors in. That one got a piece of Bruce Dreckman, and Tucker Barnhart just checking on it. And it looks like Bruce is okay. So Baez, first pitch swinging and fouling it off. Javy, the numbers climbing offensively. And that one popped up, foul ground, right side. And I think Javy broke his bat. Yeah, he did. So a 255. And he's got the 11 homers. He and Chris Bryant tied for the team lead. And that play yesterday, I mean, look, I know you got to know the rules in the moment. I do think that he forces that type of panic sometimes on the other team.
He's constantly thinking outside the box. And so the natural reaction is, oh, just step on the back. Well, let me just tag him. Wait a second. A runner's coming down the line. I got to throw the ball to catch. He just creates problems with defense when he's out on the base pass all the time. It makes you question whether or not you know the rules.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And this guy's won the Gold Glove twice, Tucker Barnhart. Nice block. The 1-2. Javy a little late, but gets a piece. In the air, left field, charging in, Winker. And he's got it. And the Cubs go 1-2-3. We'll move to the second. There's no score at Wrigley. At least $50,000. The other half benefits Cubs Charities. Get your tickets now through the end of Sunday's game at Cubs.com/raffle or from a raffle ambassador at Wrigley Field through the 8th. For more, let's go downstairs and Taylor McGregor.
Thanks so much, Boog. All throughout the week, we're going to be highlighting a lot of what Cubs Charity does. And today it's all about their partners, especially after 2020, because we all know a lot of people impacted and a lot of nonprofits stepped up to the charge to really help people through the tough times. And I'm going to introduce you to now Kelly O'Connell, who's the executive director of Lakeview Pantry, and you guys affected firsthand last year. So will you just describe what you guys went through 2020 and how the Cubs stepped up to help?
Yeah, so 2020, as soon as the pandemic hit, we saw the lines start to really increase, and we knew we couldn't continue to meet that demand and keep our volunteer staff and clients safe. So we had to find a bigger space, and that's where Cubs came in. They opened their doors when so many doors were closing to make sure that people could still get the food and help they needed to stay healthy and nourished during the pandemic.
Right here at Wrigley Field.
Right here at Wrigley Field.
You guys fed 60,000 people.
Yes.
What made Wrigley the perfect partner to step up to the charge?
So Wrigley was awesome because we got to spread out down the concourse and we got to have a food line. So when you think about getting emergency food out, we had to pack it in boxes. So we're able to have more volunteers here because we could spread out. Because the concessions were closed and they have freezer and cooler, we could keep frozen items cold and produce cold. And so it ended up being the perfect spot. And then when we distributed the food, the Cubs, you guys are experts at making sure you can manage crowds. So when we did distribution out at Addison and Sheffield, the Cubs team were the pros to make sure that it ran smoothly.
So you're not the only partner here today, though, with Cubs Charities. 3 other. Why are the Cubs the perfect partner for nonprofits around the city of Chicago?
Yeah, you know, the Cubs really stepped up in a big way during the pandemic. Not only did they help here in their neighborhood, but they really broadened throughout the whole city and partnered with places like Lakeview Pantry, Chicago Cares, New Life Community Centers out in Little Village and across the city, and the Greater Chicago Food Depository, who really stepped up and fed thousands and thousands across the city.
Well, thank you so much. Kelly O'Connell with the Lakeview Pantry.
Yes.
Really appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time. Boog, let's send it back to you. I know you're really interested in buying a 50-50 raffle.
I don't have any cash on me, Taylor. Would you take care of me? Maybe just find an ambassador on the way around the stadium, and I'll get you back. I promise.
Yeah, anything
I'll
for
cut
you.
you in two. All
right.
All right, Adbert Alzolay with a count 3-2, and facing Max Schrock, the third baseman. No score here, top half of the second. And the wind is whipping. John Shambi, Ryan Dempster, Alzolay. And that's low. So the rare walk for Adbert Alzolay. He'd gone 90 straight batters without a walk. And issues the free pass with 1 out. And the batter now will be Jonathan India. Nothing here in inning number 2. Demp, what do you make of the progression of Alzolay? Obviously, there's command there. The slider's been the big pitch. He leads the majors, minimum 150 batters faced, highest slider usage.
Yeah, I mean, that's his bread and butter is that pitch. He's comfortable throwing it in any count, any situation. He has a lot of confidence in it. And what we're seeing now is this development of the confidence in his fastball, throwing that. Even though these guys are swinging at a lot of first pitches today, he continues to throw it and just tries to put it in a good location. He just continues to grow and get better and better. He's learning from his pitching staff, guys like Arrieta and Hendricks, and it's resulting in, great things out on the field.
All right, I got a question I'm dying to ask you because I got a chance to watch you from the very beginning. And as a guy that developed a monster slider, what would have happened if early in your career, as long as the pitching coaches have said it was okay, you decided to throw your slider 45% of the time?
Yeah, I probably would have got more people out. It's true. The philosophy was pitch with your fastball, go to your slider. Nowadays, it's more if you have a pitch that people don't hit, throw that more. So maybe I would have thrown that, a lot more. It was a pitch that really didn't hurt. I never, I hurt my elbow and had Tommy John, but that was from a different situation.
Runner on the go. That one flared into right, and it falls for a hit. And racing to third is Schrock, and they're at the corners. So he just got a piece of it, did India. And the Reds with another scoring opportunity.
Yeah, hit and run on here. You see a play that's not used a whole lot to hit and run, and they go and do it today. And, this is one of those situations. You got the pitcher coming up. You put a guy in motion. Hopefully you can maybe get a bunt down. That's what they're trying to do right here. I don't know how well he handles the bat. Maybe he can handle the bat a little bit. But, the bottom of the lineup like that, to put guys in motion and use a high-contact guy like India who can go the other way with the ball, ends up flipping a base hit in there. Now you have first and third.
There's a strike. I'd be a little scared to have him bunt here because the one thing you don't want him to do is hit into two.
Yeah.
Like, you'd probably rather he struck out, no?
Yeah, or even, like I said, he doesn't look terribly comfortable in the box right now. His bunting stance is one of unsureness.
That one inside, and now 1-1. On an overcast day here at Wrigley, and the Major League debut for this guy at the plate, Vladimir Gutierrez. It was raining earlier. It's expected to start raining a little later this afternoon. And that's a strike. Now it's 1-2. Did he foul that off, or was it just drop?
He just clearly missed it.
Yeah. Missed it in and out of Wilson's glove. So now 1-2, and let's see what they have on their mind. First and third and one out. No score in the second. And a swing and a miss struck him out.
There's that slider we were talking about. Doesn't even have to be a good one against, Gutierrez right there. He was obviously uncomfortable in the box. Not able to get the bunt down. They give him the swing away, and absolutely no chance to hit that slider right there.
Alzolay, at 26 years old, native of Venezuela. They signed him back in 2012, 17 years old, for $10,000. So, not a huge bonus, but a guy who has developed and changed. And, a year ago, he was a four-seam guy with a curveball, and now more two-seam and that really good slider. But a dangerous hitter at the plate in Winker. And that's on the outside corner.
And Alzolay, a guy who, minor league, every year in spring training, who works the hardest. His name's on that list twice. This is a kid who has always had the desire, couldn't stay healthy, battled through injuries, got stronger this winter, and has just hit this confidence meter that's just shot up. And because of that, you're starting to see just this unlocked Adbert Alzolay that we just have been waiting for. And it's so fun because, it's been a while since the Cub had a young starting pitcher come up and really make an impact to the big league level.
And now he's joined at this level by guys like Keegan Thompson, by Justin Steele's on the IL, by Tommy Nance. The shift is on against Winker. And that one drilled out towards center. Happ on the move. Ian back, and he makes the catch. And that is the inning. So the Reds strand a runner at third in both innings. We're midway in the second. Nothing.
For the rest of this homestand featuring the Reds and Padres, visit Cubs.com/tickets to get the seats you want right now.
Increased capacity. Come on out. The Reds, then the Padres. And their seats still available for the rest of the games in this series. And a reminder that coming up on Wednesday, it is Lou Gehrig Day throughout Major League Baseball to honor the legend and also raise awareness for ALS. Going to be a special day at the ballpark on Wednesday. I'm excited and really grateful to all the work that Marquee Sports Network and the Cubs have done in advance of that. And you're not going to want to miss it. So come on out. We would appreciate having you in the support. There's Ian Happ now. And that one on the ground, collected by Farmer. Throw to first, and Ian retired on one pitch. So Vladimir Gutierrez, a AAA this year, 3 starts, a 2-0 record, a 2.65 ERA, 21 strikeouts in 17 innings, so the numbers were good.
And you can see early on he's got really good life on his fastball. He's got sink on that 2-seamer. Haven't seen a ton of the breaking ball yet, or the other pitch he sprinkles in the moderate changeup, but definitely good movement, good location on his fastball so far.
So a guy, as we mentioned, he was born in Cuba. He was signed in August of 2016 for a little under $5 million. He missed last year, suspension for using performance-enhancing substance. And in 19, the numbers weren't particularly good, but he's gotten off to a really good start this year. A 1-1 to Wilson. That's a strike. Wilson Contreras at 245 does have 8 homers. He was this guy that scored the run on the Javy Baez dance machine routine on the bases.
I was going to say, you know, just as impressive as Javy during all of that.
Yeah.
That's very easy for somebody on the base pass to just give up and just cruise in. But Wilson's like, hey, I'm going to try and score here.
Yeah.
I don't know what Javy's up to.
Yeah.
He's got his hat and his magic stick and wand over there, and he's waving around, pulling some bunnies out of the hat.
That's correct.
Smoke and mirrors, and next thing you know, he's sliding into home.
1-2. On the ground. That's Farmer to handle. And throws him out, 2 away. Kyle Farmer out there at shortstop. They began the year with Eugenio Suarez as their shortstop. That didn't go so well, and so Suarez has shifted back to third. He came up as a shortstop, did Suarez, moved to third. They tried him this year, and their defense has not been great. Run prevention has been an issue. It's been a combo of the pitching and the defense. Hasn't been great for Cincinnati.
Well, and that's a really hard transition to go from shortstop, then you go to a corner position to go back to shortstop, where, you know, when you go to those corner positions, inevitably you maybe bulk up a little bit, you get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, you lose a little bit of your range of motion, the ability to go get balls that you could get when you were much younger. So him at third base is a much better play for the Reds.
2 down. Here's Ortega. And a strike clips the outside corner. 0-2 to Rafael, who starts in right field here today. Jason Hayward on the IL. Saw Jake Marisnick was out running the bases pregame, but both those guys are out. Nico Horner's on the shelf as well. I mean, it's a banged up Cubs team. There are a lot of teams that are hurt, let's be clear. And Anthony Rizzo sitting today with the tight back. One more look at this last one. You see Barnhart trying to present it to Bruce Dreckman. Reds, by the way, I mentioned poor defense. Outs above average is a StatCast metric for team defense. They rank 28th out of 30 teams in that department. So for David Bell's team, the defense, at least according to one metric, they fare a little better in defensive runs saved. And the eye test isn't great for them defensively. Righty is ready. 2-2. And that one popped up foul and back.
There's things flying all over the place here. We had a pop-up behind home plate, a bat cruising towards the dugout. Thankfully, that net that runs all the way down there catches that. Good job of fighting off some good pitches, putting together a good at-bat right here. Look at that camera angle. That's a beautiful thing.
Ortega was played at the big league level with the Marlins and the Braves. And a pitch. And that's bounced foul. And as well with the Angels and the Rockies. Four two-strike fouls here. Gutierrez steals outside. This is a good at-bat right here. Two down, bases empty, no score. Here comes the 10th pitch of the at-bat. And now time call. And a 3-2. And he walked him. Really nice work by Rafael Ortega. Able to coax the walk. All right, pitch cast brought to you by Ford. Check it out, Dem.
And that right there, the ability to lay off that pitch. You know, I know that's ball to ball, so it's probably a little bit easier, but when you've seen the fastball, you've seen the changeup, you fouled off some good changeups, you fouled off some good breaking balls, you start as a hitter to feel in control, and for a pitcher, you don't know what to throw him.
In the air, right field, Castellanos drifting towards the line and makes the catch. And the inning is over. Bote retired on one pitch. Still no score. We'll head to the third. Most at the top of the order. There's a reason that the Reds are second in the National League in runs per game, but they're 1-2 in batting average, first and third in slug, and second and third in OPS. What a start both these guys are off to. They both slug. Winker is a guy that's probably a little more patient, but they can both hit.
We saw that last inning, too. Now, all of a sudden, you get first and third from the bottom of the lineup. It gets really, really touchy when you get those two guys coming around. Alzolay was able to make that pitch to Winker and get out of that.
Castellanos a single to left his first time. Former Cub, 16 homers in 19. Drills that one to center. Hap right there, down to a knee. Genuflex and makes the catch. Hap checking his card. He's got the gator on. Yeah, the shift is on for Tyler Naquin, whose season is off to a great start. Time now for the social scene presented by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think that's very fair.
Good day to be a pitcher at Wrigley.
Yeah. I was just watching that replay, and I didn't, I'm just sitting there watching it. I'm like, what a great thought. 1-0 with a great hitter up there with a ton of pop and power. I'm going to throw it right down the middle because that wind is howling straight in. There's a pretty good chance you're going to have a tough time lifting it through that wind and out of this ballpark today. It's going to take multiple hits to score runs.
They played a shift with Naquin up here. Guy was a first-round pick by the Indians. And a swing and a miss. And Alzolay has struck him out for the second time today. Third punch out for Adbert. And with two gone, it'll bring up Tyler Stevenson.
Just pitching execution at its finest. Wilson Contreras asked for a fastball up and away. You saw him get the little sign say up here. Puts it right above the belt. Looks good. Can't get on top of that. No chance.
By the way, it's Adbert's 4th K. Math is a little dicey so far for me. First one upstairs, ball 1 to Stevenson, who doubled to right back in the first and was left stranded. No score. We're in the 3rd. The pitch. That's a little high. You hear the wind, Demp?
Oh, I can hear it. I can feel it. Taste it.
Now it squirts past Contreras, and now it's 3-0. The first baseman, Tyler Stevenson. These two teams met earlier in the year in Cincinnati. The Reds took 2 out of 3. Mentioned Cincinnati's offense is really good. It's been much better at home. There's a strike. That's not a shocker. You're talking about one of the better hitters' parks in baseball.
Yeah, they always put up big numbers there. Definitely a hitter-friendly park, especially as you start getting towards the warmer days of summer. That ball really carries there.
And that's ball 4. Second walk issued by Alzolay.
It's one of those pitches where, yeah, it shows up on the box as a strike, and Wilson did a good job of trying to pull that up, but when you set up inside and then you have to reach back across on a sinker, kind of alludes to the naked eye that ball is off the plate or down.
Pitch outside, ball 1 to Tucker Barnhart. Barnhart, left-handed hitter. He used to be a switch hitter, actually gave it up to begin last year. They have the shift on with him at the plate, man at first. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. That masked man is Nick Lentz down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did. Megalodon all over it. 1-1. Up and in.
That's the occasional cutter right there. Not going with the two-seamer. You saw that, how he tried to run it in on his hands, but...
And it was harder at about 88.
Yeah.
The 2-1. That is hammered out towards the right field corner. That one back there, and that is a fair ball into the corner. Stevenson racing towards third, and that's going to be an automatic double. And the Cubs will catch a break. As that one took a hop and exited the field.
We talked the pitch before was a cutter in. This one's a slider that just backs up. You know, Cubs ate it in 2 ways here. One, he crushes that ball pretty well, but because the wind's blowing in, it gets knocked down, and then he gets the bounce to go out of play there for the ground rule double. Saves the run, and now you just got to make a pitch and get out of it right here.
Yeah, from our T-Mobile coverage cams, that one taking a bounce. That guy has drinks in his hands, retrieves a baseball. It's an automatic double, by the way. It's one of my pet peeves. It's an automatic double because when the ball bounces and then leaves the field of play, it doesn't have anything to do with the ground rules here at Wrigley. That's the rule in every Major League ballpark.
It's just the automatic double.
Yeah, a rule book double. There you go. How's that?
I like it. From now on, you will never hear me call it a ground rule double.
Here's Kyle Farmer, second and third, 2 outs. And that slider misses inside. So a threat again for the Reds. Alzolay has been pitching into and then out of trouble.
Yeah, he's made a ton of really great pitches today, and then he's got himself in the jam, the 2-out walk here, and put himself in a situation where he has to make a pitch now. But he's done a great job of that so far, and just got to bear down and make a good one.
Next pitch is fouled off at the plate.
mean, you're seeing this too. This sinker that he's throwing has a ton of run on it today. He threw some ones to Castellanos that were inside that get Barron in there. He has got a lot of movement on that pitch. Sometimes a little tougher to control. Maybe that's what led to a couple walks so far.
Yeah, we've seen the two-seamer decline in usage over the last 5 years, but for some guys, it's just the better pitch. The 1-1. Just missed. Contreras held it there the extra second. And now 2 balls and a strike on Farmer.
This pitch here looks really, really good. Just misses on the inside part of the plate. Or does it?
Did it get a little bit of the Hollywood square up top? Maybe. Just a piece.
We always forget about that little 1-inch piece of black that goes around the plate. That's where the term painting the black came from.
Second and third. And this one popped up. He's going to get out of it again. Sogard gives way to Ortega, who makes the grab. And that is the inning. The Reds have left 2 in each of the first 3. Adbert Alzolay likes it. Joined by the manager of the Cubs and David Ross. Let's talk Adbert Alzolay. He's pitched into and then out of trouble 3 straight innings. What needs to get sharpened for him here today?
I think the last inning got 2 quick outs and just, I thought he lost concentration, to be honest with you. You got to stay focused. 2 outs, wind blowing in. I'm sure it's not easy to grip the baseball out there. Who knows? It's a tough day. No runs given up so far, so that's all that really matters.
Rossi, you talked about fans being in the ballpark. More fans. How great is it? I know it's a colder day, but we're not packing it in. But to have more people, it must feel really nice.
Hey, I'm looking forward to the sunny days. It is nice to have them here. You're right. But sunny weekend days here in Chicago, day games, packed house. It looks nice out there, but I'm just trying to stay warm in here right now, Dan.
David, you told me it would be warmer by this time of year when I took this job.
I was just trying to get you here. That's a recruiting ploy. That's what it's just trying to get you here, get you on our team, get the star here. It's a recruiting tactic. It'll warm up. It'll be amazing, but right now it's still a little chilly.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the time.
All right, fellas.
Thanks,
take care.
Rossi.
David Ross, Fridays with Rossi, and Eric Sogard taking a strike. You look at this Cubs team and the turnaround, and one of the things for David Ross, he's had a really good bench. Sogard lifts that in the air out towards right field. Yeah, Castellanos makes the play. It's been guys like Sogard and Duffy and Marisnik, I think, early that helped energize and get things turned in a good direction.
Yeah, I would completely agree with you. And, the ability to mix and match pieces and put guys in different parts of the lineup, put them at different positions. Even bringing up a guy like Ortega now, you can float around the outfield and play a couple different corner positions. So, yeah, depth is really, really huge. And when you have that different type of approach to different type of at-bats, more high-contact guys, that's kind of like rubbed off onto the guys who were high strikeout guys, and you see them cutting down on those, and I think you're exactly right. It's because of those guys like Sogard and Duffy and Marisnik.
2 quick outs, and back to the top of the order as Alzolay will get back. Jock Peterson will do some stretching and likely take a pitch as Sogard and Alzolay retired quite quickly. What have you seen so far from Vladimir Gutierrez, who's used 4 pitches to begin this inning?
Yeah, I just think the way he's attacked the strike zone, he hasn't shied away from anybody. He's gone right after him. Obviously, the conditions should help you with that. If you can't trust your stuff and throw it over the plate when the wind's blowing in like it is, then you're going to struggle. But he's definitely attack. Changeup's been decent on a pitch that we didn't really expect anything out of. Now that right there, if I'm the pitcher and I just came in after grounding out and you swing at the first pitch, you better get a hit or you better foul it off. Because I just got to get a sip of water, let me wipe my brow with a towel, and
I need a moment.
Yeah.
I need a moment.
But Jock's saying, hey, you swung first pitch too, so I'm going to go for it.
It's like in Mr. Mom when the little guy has to give up his whoopee and finally looks at Michael Keaton and just says, can I have a moment to myself, please? Right? That's what you need. You're the pitcher. You got to sit down. Just need a moment to myself. More bizarre movie references coming up in the 6th. In the air, left field. Winker towards the corner. Winker back some more, sliding. And he's caught it. Wow. What a play. I mean, the wind and the wall, and Jesse Winker steals extra bases from Jock Peterson. Heck of a play out there. Cubs go in order. We head to the...
This right here. Jesse Winker, an impressive catch. You know, we talked about at the break, Boog. Sometimes plays don't get quantified, but when you got a win like this, blowing it the way it is today, he first breaks in, then he breaks back and makes an incredible sliding catch up against the wall down there in left field. That is more than impressive.
Yeah, really nice play by Jesse Winker. The 0-1 to Schrock. Max Schrock, who starts at third base. The numbers, he's at 211. No homers and no RBIs. Fouls that one off. And 1-2. It has not really been the case today. That one runs back, but just misses the inside edge. But Demp, normally, if a hitter's going to get Alzolay, it's usually a left-handed hitter. The stats lean towards the lefties as slugging against him.
Just has that slider is a pitch that comes down and into those guys. But when he has that sinker like that and the ability to kind of run it at the bottom of the knees, that's the one they're going to beat into the ground. Rather than up in the zone where it runs back over into their happy zone and they're able to hit it for more slug, more power, and then burying that breaking ball. Bury that to the back foot. Don't leave it spinning in the zone. We saw that, on the ball that Barnhart hit for the double. That was one that kind of spun up there. And once he kind of develops, continues to grow, maybe an off-speed pitch like a changeup or a split he gets to, that's how you can neutralize those lefties.
Nice pitch in there for strike one to Jonathan India. India, their first-round pick in 2018 out of the University of Florida, was on the IL earlier this year with a wrist injury. One down, base is empty. They play him to pull, but not a full shift. That paints the outside corner.
I mean, this is just money pitch right here. Trying to throw it right on the corner. You throw him 2 sliders. Now you throw that. You can throw any pitch you want. If it's located, he doesn't have a shot.
That one inside, and it got away, and it hit him with 1 out, a man aboard. And so Adbert Alzolay plunks Jonathan India, and now the pitcher will come up to hit.
Just a case of a big miss right here. He's trying to go for a 3rd consecutive pitch down and away. India not picking it up, and that ball just tails away. Gets caught in the wind right there, Boog, and even with that pad, he's going to feel that one a little bit.
So Gutierrez showing bunt and stabs at it, misses it. It's a strike on the slider. This is an interesting one here today. Ryan Dempster in 2021, this is the type of game you can see it coming. Neutral conditions, this game's changing on a home run. I don't know if that's on the table today.
No, as current conditions, absolutely not. I mean, it's going to take a low line drive, kind of the left center gap below that scoreboard, and let the wind kind of not play effect. That's the only ball that's going to get out of here today. 0-1 now. Missed the bunt. 0-2. So then that being said, I think the team that does the best job of fielding the ball and making the play, you can't give extra outs on days like today because that's ultimately what might end up getting you burnt.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. He's bunted at 3 pitches as Gutierrez, and he's missed them all. Trying here, pushes it towards first. Bryant. Sogard gets there, and the sacrifice executed. So it'll go 3-1. No Anthony Rizzo today. 3rd straight start he has missed with the back tightness day to day. So hopefully tomorrow. Then we show you the metrics as it applies to the wins. I mean, every flag that you want to look at, though, is just ripping in the ballpark. And obviously left, center, and center, but yeah, it's going.
All our papers flying all over the place up here in the booth. My hair's all a mess.
It is. I meant to tell you that. Get you some sticker or something.
You just got to grind through it, though, Boog. It's a tough win day.
Baez, Sogard, and Bryant on the right side. The Reds have had a man in scoring position every inning today. Winker 0 for 2. Alzolay kicks, delivers. Off the outside edge. And 1-1.
We've already seen that a couple times in Winker's first 2 at-bats, the strikeout in the first inning, and even in his second at-bat. He's just not seeing that backdoor slider very well. If he gets into a situation where he's got 2 strikes again, I'd go to that.
Pushes that one foul down the left side. That'll get out of play. Jesse Winker, one of the issues for him is just he hasn't stayed healthy, but you go back to last season, the OBP and the slug. I mean, when the OBP's north of 380 and the slug's over 500, you're in.
Yeah, just quietly goes about his business. When you talk about elite hitters in the game, he's not one of the guys that pops to your mind right away, but in the last 2 years, when you look at the numbers, he is one of them.
Yep. Man, it's second, a 1-2. In the air, they've got it surrounded. Sogard, Hap coming on, and Ian slides and makes the catch. Oh, the wind is rough. Winker flies to shallow center for the 3rd out, and the Reds leave a man. And Alzolay happy once again. Middle of the 4th, 0-0. Good to have you. All right, now through June 1st, fans can virtually meet their favorite Cubs players or alumni, as well as receive an autographed photo. Limited spots still to meet Ryan Sandberg, Wilson Gutierrez. Sign up today, Cubs.com/dugout chats. Cool stuff. And that proceeds benefit Cubs charities. Bundled up out there in the bleachers. Yeah. And the wind is whipping. Bryant lifts that one in the air out towards right. Castellanos coming on. I don't think I've ever seen that. India was chasing after. He took his hat off.
Can you catch the ball with your hat?
I don't think so. Well, I guess, was he worried that his hat was going to come off?
Maybe he felt like he was getting a better look at the ball. Like the bill of his cap was blocking the baseball.
So here's Baez with 1 out. Javy's flied to left. No score, bottom 4. So here he is. Watch him out there. Oh, his hat's coming off. Oh, my hat. And then he just, oh, that's funny. That's big league flow right there. That one bunted foul. All right, here's our Duncan poll question of the day. You want to smile? How about a smile? Which of these moments put the biggest smile on your face? Javy's base running against the Pirates, Rizzo punching out Freeman, or Chris Bryant leaving candy for Kyle Schwarber in left field? That's a good poll right there. Which one made you smile the most? I love it. MarqueeSportsNetwork.com/vote. I'm smiling reading it. Diving and Schrock off his glove. Javy is safely aboard. That should be an infield single. First Cubs hit of the day.
As we've seen today, fly balls, there's no hits up there. Hit it on the ground, make things happen. Javy with a tough 2-strike pitch right there. He's as good as anybody in baseball about hitting balls outside of the strike zone for Knox. Beats this pitch down on the ground right in the hole. A tough play for the third baseman diving for that. I was surprised Javy just didn't run to second there. Then to third, home. They wouldn't have got him.
JD with the line of the day yesterday. Keep going. You're invisible. Ball one to Happ. Ian grounded to short his first time. And despite that ground out, one of the things we've seen with Ian Happ, the numbers have improved since coming off the IL. You could even start it before he went on the IL against Cincinnati. But the biggest change for Ian Happ is the fact that he's just not hitting the ball on the ground as much. So there's more slug, and the OPS way higher. As you're seeing, the ground ball rate has been cut almost in half, shifting from April to May. Javy goes. Pitches a strike. Throw. Out at second. And Baez is saying, I got in there. And they're saying, look at it.
And Joe West is saying, I'd gladly take another look at that.
Yes. There he goes. Congratulations to Joe West on Tuesday. 53-76. Swim move. See?
I mean, Javy said it yesterday, talking about that play. He said, I'm just really good at tagging people and not being tagged. And he just showed us again.
That's true.
Like, it's never ending with this guy.
Yeah, it's true. There's nothing better than when they show the replay on the board and it looks pretty clear for the home team. If there's one element of replay that gets under my skin, I know for a lot of people it's time and that type of thing. I don't like the idea of a guy sliding on a really close play and he pops off the base for a millisecond and you hold. It's really not what it's supposed to be about. I just, the play has been made and then you dislodge from the base for a nanosecond by a fraction of an inch, and then they tag you and it ends up being ruled out. There's something about that that feels like it's violating the spirit, in my opinion, of why we're doing this.
I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Safe.
It's almost as if you could put some sort of halo over top of the bag, because I'm sure that's what they were just checking on to make sure his right hand didn't come off, because his left hand grabs the bag too. Javy's smart enough to know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, I love that, you you dive in and immediately it's Dikembe Mutombo, right?
Yeah.
No. Not out. So now a man in scoring position and the Cubs with an opportunity. First Cub to reach second base here today. And a 1-1 to Happ. Too high. Baez with the first hit of the day for the Cubs. A stolen base after the overturn and an opportunity for Ian Happ. The 2-1 way high. Time now for the social scene presented by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Javy is an amazing base runner. That's the tweet. Hashtag Cub Together. It's a solid tweet. I have nothing to add. The right-hander to Happ. And a little bit low, and Ian will take the walk and turn it over to Willson Contreras. Scoreless in the bottom of the fourth. I mean, that's one of the things Ian Happ brings to the table, right, Demp? That skill set. Pitch-Tracks had it as a strike, but Bruce Streckman did not. But Ian Happ's one of those guys that knows the zone well and takes tough pitches.
And understands how they're pitching him. So he got to 2-1 count. He misses with a bad changeup. So in your mind, you're thinking, well, they're not going to attack me.
Right.
Because that's not what they're all about in this at-bat. He's going to look for something he really wants to drive. Didn't get it. Ends up being ball 4.
Pitch to Contreras. And that's in for a strike to Willson, who's grounded to short.
You know, the previous pitch was in the same place to Happ, but that one being a breaking ball, it has the illusion of being a little bit more of a strike than it was.
There's a swing and a miss, and quickly 0-2. I mean, it's Friday, and it's like we forgot that Willson Contreras took a 98-mile-an-hour heater straight off his left wrist last Sunday from Craig Kimbrel. You know, I made this point, too. I don't know whether it matters, but whenever a guy gets hit by a pitch, he recoils. And the way he went after the pitch, it's like you put your hand out to get hit by a hammer. There's no recoil. Like Kimbrel just hit him right in the wrist, and he just stood there and took it. Outside corner, and he's gone looking. Gutierrez with the strikeout, and now it'll be left up to Ortega.
This is just a good two-seamer that runs back on that outside corner. He tried on the previous pitch, just missed, and I mean, you got to tip your cap sometimes. Pitcher's pitch, perfect spot, down and away, nothing you can do with that. At best, you try to foul that pitch off or take it the other way, but even that's just pitcher's pitch right there.
First big league strikeout for Vladimir Gutierrez. And now it's Rafael Ortega with 2 down and runners at first and second. Check swing and a called strike.
You know, this is one of those at-bats where a previous at-bat can bleed into your next at-bat. So he had this amazing 10-pitch at-bat. He saw fastball, he saw curveball, he saw changeup, he saw everything. So now he knows exactly what the pitcher has and use that to his advantage and be able to hit something here, you know, find a hole. But seeing all those pitches in at-bat before can be huge right here.
Cubs with only 1 hit today. They've had 3 base runners. Ortega getting a piece there. Hitting is down throughout Major League Baseball. .236 is the Major League average into today. And a swing and a miss struck him out, and Gutierrez gets out of it. With 2 aboard, he gets back-to-back strikeouts. The Cubs leave a couple, no score, onto the 5th.
In there in the dugout to really hear what they have to say about the way he's attacking hitters, so on and so forth. But he said a part of his routine between every happening is breathing exercises, something we talked about last week with Keegan Thompson. It's so important for these young guys to be able to breathe and kind of just take in the moment, help set themselves back to the spot that they know they should be. David Ross mentioned that he felt like Adbert kind of lost concentration. Well, Adbert said he uses those breathing exercises to kind of focus himself, and so maybe that's something that he has done to help him with the concentration here as the wind is blowing in here at Wrigley, guys.
Taylor, one of the things that Tommy Hotovy told me was that they liked so much the way he responded after giving up the homer to Yadier Molina that last start. The next pitch, bang, in there for a strike, and he just stayed even and composed. Down to a knee to grab that one, flips to first, and Castellanos retired. You know, he gives up a homer, and all of a sudden it's a 2-1 game, and you're on the short end. How's he going to respond? Is he going to come apart? The wheels come off? What happens? And he stayed steady, and I love watching the guys that go out there and have some form. Did you have any type of breathing technique or anything in particular you do?
Yeah, early on in my career, I struggled with that. That was, the hamster wheel would start spinning, and things would speed up really fast, and you start to get away with what's important, and that's just executing a pitch. But exactly right. Like, you're going to give up hits. You're going to give up home runs. That's going to happen. Get right back to what the process is, and that's executing pitches. And I talked about it earlier. I just see the command of his actions out there, the way he carries himself, feels of more of a veteran-type pitcher and somebody that's in control of his thoughts and emotions.
One down. Here's Naquin, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. The shift on, it goes Baez, Sogard, Bryant on the right side. Mentally, what were the things you focused on early? You worked a little bit with Harvey Dorfman, did you not?
Yeah, Harvey was a big help for me. Like I said, my first year in the big leagues, I got sent to minor league camp before it started in spring training, and 6 weeks later, I'm in the big leagues. So I didn't believe that I was good enough to be there. And Harvey really talked me through that, and trusting my stuff, throw it over the plate, find out where you're at. Find out if a guy can hit your fastball right away. And just ultimately take it one pitch at a time. Doesn't matter if somebody made an error. Doesn't matter if an umpire calls it a ball or strike. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is making that pitch in that moment. Think about it this way, Book. If I'm not fielding my position and I'm not covering first base, the only thing that I can control is making the pitch. The rest of it is out of my control. Just handle what you can do and what's in your control.
That one in the dirt, struck him out, and the tag applied. And Alzolai's gotten the first 2 here in the 5th.
Power Chicago? We do. We consistently help create better construction, better careers, better communities. Powering Chicago, IBEW Local 134, NECA, Chicago.
So Alzolai with 5 strikeouts. He's gotten Naquin 3 times today. And now it's Tyler Stevenson. You mentioned Harvey Dorfman. Harvey Dorfman, a guy who's kind of the godfather of, at least in baseball, performance coaching. He wrote a book called The Mental ABCs of Pitching. I would posit that in every big league clubhouse you could find a copy of The Mental ABCs of Pitching. And I know in the Cubs clubhouse that Kyle Hendricks has one that's dog-eared that's a good 10 years old.
Well, there's so many things you can find in that book. Different avenues of your game, or what you're doing pitching that can help you. It might not necessarily be command. It might be your emotions. It might be your work in between starts, visualization, different things like that. But that book, I suggest that to every little league coach to give to a kid because it is tremendous.
A lot of neat stuff about how you speak to yourself and the cues and languaging that you use. Something as simple as don't use negative cues, meaning if the thought is I don't want, there's the book right there, The Mental ABCs of Pitching. That's actually a picture of Kyle Hendricks. We didn't steal it from him. He let us take the picture. But instead of saying don't throw it high, say throw it low. The active positive cue to yourself is the thing that really helps. Good job by Alzolai. Gets him 1, 2, 3 for the first time today. We're midway in the 5th. There's still no score. Native of Venezuela, Alzolai 5 innings, 4 hits. Gutierrez only 1 hit allowed. Alzolai with the edge in the strikeout column and has gone an inning deeper and thrown a few more pitches. So Adbert will continue out there as he chats it up in the dugout. Bottom third of the order, Bote, Sogard, and then the pitcher's spot. David Bote flied out on one pitch his first time up. So Bote up here. David getting a chance to play every single day. Remember, he won the second base job out of spring training. He's playing every day at third as Bryant has been shifted. I mean, Chris Bryant hasn't played third base since April 20th. Hasn't started at third base since April 20th. And Matt Duffy's on the IL. Nico Horner's on the IL. So, I mean, they are banged up right now. And there's Nico and Jason. That one drilled down the left field line. That one towards the corner. Gone! It got out of here. A home run for David Bote as he sprints around the bases, and it's 1-0. It cut through the wind. A Boote Bomb, and the Cubs lead it. Wow. All right, our home run replay brought to you by Toyota, the official vehicle of the Chicago Cubs. Ryan Dempster, a low liner. That's the type of ball that you said was going to need to get out, and that was kind of it.
Yeah, whether he's at second base or third base, he's been hitting the ball on the screws lately. And you see that right there, absolutely hammered, low line drive into the basket. 1-0. Great job, Bote.
Boote Bomb. Sogard slices that one foul. Eric flied to right his first time. So for Vladimir Gutierrez, his major league debut, it gives up his first run. Sogard, that one in the air. And sprinting in is Winker, and then put the brakes on. Stopped and made the catch. And with one down, it'll bring up Adbert Alzolay for David Bote, his 5th homer of the year.
You know, kind of just to finish what you were talking about with him too. Wins the second base job. Then because of injuries and needing some more depth and moving KB to the outfield, you're able to put Bote at third base. And that's what we're seeing, you know, the change of the game, the evolution of the game, players being able to play multiple positions and doing it really well. And he's a very, very good defensive infielder, but you know, what he's been doing with the bat, he did it last year. He hit a ton of balls hard, didn't get the results.
Yep.
Was hitting balls hard early on, and now he's had a few home runs the past couple of games, and that was just a great swing right there. On a pitch that normally, by the way, he's a low ball hitter. That ball kind of running up and in on him, and he just kept his hands inside that so well. Got on top of it and was able to just crush a line drive in the corner.
That one in there and got him looking. Alzolay retired. Yeah, there's 2 down. David Bote had the big homer in game 2 of the series in Pittsburgh. Cubs have getting contributions from all over. Here's Jock Peterson. Let's check out StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. And Jock in the 3rd hit that ball that Winker was able to come up with. Normal conditions, and that ball is a homer, no problem. But it got blown in 73 feet by the wind, 32 to left. And so that gives you an idea of how much the wind has affected it. He had himself an opposite field homer, and Winker caught that in and towards the line.
And we've seen it with multiple balls hit to the outfield on both sides today. You know, it literally looks like a drive to the gap, and all of a sudden it just starts floating backwards. The wind just continues to knock the ball down. You hit it up in the air, high in the air today, it's going nowhere.
Here's a 1-1. Jock 0 for 2. Gutierrez has thrown just 66 pitches. In the air, right field. Castellanos back, slowing down, and he's got it. And I'm going to need to see the wind impact on that one as well. David Bote with a low line drive, rocket to left, and it gets out of town. Bote with his 5th, and the Cubs have the lead. Get together the first of a 3-game set. Capacity up to 60%. Come on out, hang out with us. Padres come to town Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And next Wednesday here at the ballpark, it'll be Lou Gehrig Day at Wrigley and throughout Major League Baseball, raising awareness and money for ALS research and patient care. It's going to be a really cool day. And congratulations to the Lou Gehrig Committee and all the fine work that they did to make it happen. Here's Tucker Barnhart. And that one out of play. Barnhart 1 out of 2. We got the 50-50 raffle happening, so go online or find somebody in the ballroom. Next pitch down and away. Yeah, the count now 1-2 on Barnhart. Barnhart, Farmer, and Schrock in the Reds' half of the 6th. The Cubs have the lead. Oh, look out down there. Foul ball. I think that's one of the things that's been most fun. And now more fans are here, but just seeing fans catch foul balls, chase after foul balls. Love that.
You know, with the limited capacity, you actually see some really great plays. People are getting blocked out by other people.
No doubt. Alzolay up to 81 pitches, so you'd figure they'd like to get 3 more outs out of him and then turn it over to that bullpen that hasn't allowed an earned run in the last 34 2/3 innings. Shift on against Barnhart. 2-2. And fouled off at the plate. That get Bruce Dreckman in the neck? Or did the bat get him? Just kind of reaching up under the Jaeger guard. Wilson Contreras checking on him. Yeah, it did. Underneath. That was amazing. The ricochet. That hit down, foot, leg, back up, and hit the umpire.
Bruce is like, I'm fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm okay.
Here's a 2-2. Two-seamer running away. All right, pitch cast brought to you by Ford. And the battle continues between these two. On the inside corner, got him. Great pitch. He ran it back over the inside edge. That's the old front hip Maddox special, right?
Yeah, and I was seeing that pitch cast before that, and I thought, man, up and in hasn't been hit yet. That looks like a great spot. Absolutely locks him up. The old front hip ball. Throw it right at the lefty's hip. Let the two-seam action take its place. And boom, right on the corner. That is perfection.
One down, and the pitch to Farmer. And that's in for a strike. Kyle Farmer 0 for 2. And that one fouled off third base side. Quickly 0-2. Yeah, all bundled up.
I'd like to see that same pitch he just threw him.
I thought you were going to say you wanted a blanket.
Well, I'd love a blanket. The heater's beautiful. It's just not. It's not doing everything.
Yeah.
You know. I'm using both. I'm using yours here.
Yeah, and we have fruit too.
Fruit.
You guys want any fruit?
Wind out there. See,
yeah.
Just showing you all the elements that are happening.
It's all happening. Yeah,
it's a little brisk. It's okay though.
Take the s'mores, put them down.
You got it. We saved those for the 7th inning stretch, anyways.
Yeah, that's a Cubs blanket. I like it. Oh, Bruce. The count 1-2 on Farmer.
And a great pitch, but Wilson Contreras is set up away off the plate. And that ball hits the spot, but not a strike.
Baez charges, fires on the move. Farmer is out, 2 away.
Shop Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and more with our sleep experts today to find your best sleep. Only at Mattress Firm.
So 2 down, and Max Schrock will come up to hit. Reds actually got him from the Cubs in terms of the transaction that took place. Claimed off of waivers in February by the Reds from the Cubs. The Cubs had gotten him in October of last year from the Cardinals. Here comes a 1-0 outside. Alzolay closing in on 100 pitches. 2 down, base is empty. Hey, how you doing?
He had a blanket.
Yeah, he did. That's drilled out towards left center. Happ on the move, racing back some more. It'll take a bounce and hit off the ivy. Into second is Schrock. And with 2 outs, a man aboard. And an opportunity for the Reds. 1-0 Cubs.
3-0 swinging right here. As a manager, when you give a guy a green light on 3-0, that's what you want to see. You want to see some drive of the baseball. And just for a slight moment, the wind died down just a little bit. Wasn't able to knock it down enough. Ends up with a stand-up double.
And again, part of that, I think you're going to see it more and more. Swing rates increase, but it's the lone fastball count nowadays, 3-0. Whereas a hitter, you know you're going to get it. And the numbers back it up. You get a fastball on 3-0 about 91% of the time. And it's really the only count over the last 13 years where that's been the case, where fastball usage has gone up. It's funny. That's in for a strike, and it's 1-1.
And it's not something like, you talk about that. Okay, here's a 7-hole hitter swinging 3-0.
Yeah.
10 years ago, no chance. No way.
No shot.
But the reality is, okay, if it does something like that, hits a double. You can't just walk the guy because now you get a pinch hitter for the pitcher to come up. So you have a guy getting out there, getting a base hit, getting a double, and giving an opportunity for the guy behind him to drive him in.
Well, as a hitter, start with this idea. why did the vast majority of these guys get here as batters? Because they could hit the fastball.
Yep.
What's the point of taking the auto 3-0 so you can be in a 3-1 count and then he might throw you a slider?
I'm 100% with you. I always thought 3-0, if a guy, especially if a guy's seeing the ball well and he's having good ABs, give him the green light.
The 2-1. Pushed foul off to the right.
You know, and from his previous 2 at-bats, Schrock's first at-bat, he walked, gave him a tough AB, saw a bunch of pitches. Second at-bat, hit it on the screws, but hit it right to the second baseman. So, you know, David Bell's like, hey, he's seen as good as anybody we got in the lineup right now. Let's let him go ahead and swing away.
Gutierrez is in the on-deck circle. But I would say no chance he's hitting if India were to walk or reach or what have you. 2-2. And that's in the dirt. And there he is. I mean, that's just for show, yeah?
I would believe so. I mean, you're talking the 6th inning, you're down 1-0.
Yep. This, by the way, pitch number 100, a career high for him. Here comes. And India spoils it. Prior to this, 94, his career high. If you're wondering in the majors what percentage of the time on 3-2 you get a fastball in 2021, it's 55.1% of the time. In 2008, it was 65% of the time. Let's see what he goes with here. 3-2. And fouled off again. Went slider. So fastballs on 3-2 counts. When you look at just the change in the last 6 years, it's amazing. On the ground, just foul of third.
There was always the old saying, don't get beat with your second best pitch. So most pitchers, their best pitch is their fastball, but a guy like Adbert, his best pitch is probably his slider.
Yep.
Although I think his fastball and his fastball command has made his slider a lot better. But I think, too, just the philosophy behind that has changed. Pitching coaches, managers willing to trust a guy to be able to throw their breaking ball in those situations more.
3-2. Oh, wow. So Alzolay walks India on a pitch just off the outside edge. And it looks like Shogo Akiyama is going to get a chance to hit.
The pitcher in me has a tough time with that, Boog. I've busted my tail out here all day. Guys fouled off a bunch of pitches. I'm at nearing the end of my rope right here, and I absolutely square up exactly where I want to throw it, and you ball me.
You tell your old man to drag Lanier and Walton up and down the court for 48 minutes. I'm out here busting my buns every night. I get you. David Ross claps his hands, takes the baseball, and we have a pitching change. Good pitcher's duel at Wrigley. Alzolay gets a nice hand. .45, so the strikeout rate is above average. Walks a little bit more than the average guy, and he, as you said, strikeouts and ground balls. That's what you want. And he'll deal with Eugenio Suarez in this spot, and this guy is dangerous. Suarez as a pinch hitter in his career, lifetime 1 for 21. This year hitting 160. Does have 11 homers though, so good pop. He hits with Schrock at second, Indy at first, and Contreras and Chafin having trouble getting together. And there are the numbers I just mentioned. 14 punch-outs. A cold day at Wrigley. Let's hope he stays cold. A fastball missing. Chafin's been such a big part of this bullpen. I mean, right now the entire pen has been spectacular, but Chafin and Kimbrel have been the two guys that have been great from the jump.
Yeah, well, I think Chafin too, the ability as a lefty to get out righties and lefties.
There's a strike.
He's been a strike thrower. I know the walk, totals are up a little bit for him, but he's made quality pitch after quality pitch. He's got that down and in slider to righties that they swing over the top of, and then he's got mid-90s fastball.
Outside corner, strike 2. Suarez, a guy a couple of years ago, hit 49 homers. That was 2019 when the ball was really jumping, but he did strike out 189 times that year. Fans starting to buzz at 60% capacity. Here comes. And a breaking ball in the dirt. Chafin rubbing up that baseball. How hard is it on a day like today? I mean, I know that you pitched in colder, but just grabbing the ball.
Yeah, I think just constantly having moisture blowing into your hands where you get that heat to balance out with the cold, get a little moisture so you can get some grip using that rosin.
Kick and pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Alzolay loves it. The Sheriff gets the job done. The Reds leave a couple. Cincinnati Reds will be Heath Hembree. Budweiser pitching change. Say it, Tim. Say it.
This Bud's for you.
Indeed. All right, so Hembree on for the 13th time. 4.15 ERA. See the strikeout rate. A guy that doesn't produce a ton of ground balls, but he does get the punch outs. Bullpen has been an Achilles heel for David Bell's team this year, and in the majors this year, only the Tigers and the Rockies with a worse reliever earned run average.
Well, they lost their closer. Celia Iglesias going to the Angels. Michael Lorenzen hasn't quite been what he was in previous years. And that's tough. That's a big reason. We talked about their offense. They can score runs. But when you have leads and you can't hold them, or the game's close and you let it get away, it's tough.
You see Chris Bryant wearing those glasses. He's done that from time to time in his career. Day games where it's windy, your eyes dry out, something gets blown into your eyes, and so he's just wearing clear glasses. And takes a strike.
Slight hue to them.
There is a bit of a hue. There's our Duncan poll. Biggest smile on your face. Baez running against the Pirates. Freddie striking out Rizzo, or KB leaving the candy for Schwarber. 3 pretty good choices. I mean, those are 3 smiles right there.
I think I smiled the most for the middle one.
Yeah.
Just because they were both smiling too, so everybody was smiling.
Mm-hmm. And we didn't get to see KB leave the candy for Schwarber live, right? I'm with you, Aaron. Next pitch to Bryant misses. Two and one now. Hembree deals. Lined out into left center field, and that's a base hit. Winker will pick it up. And Chris Bryant with his first hit of the day.
I mean, the glasses work.
Clearly.
No wind in his eyes. Just a slider in the middle of the plate, and he absolutely scalds it to left center field. We've talked about it. He just seems so on balance every pitch, in control of his swing. Leadoff single. Share the glasses, Chris. Let somebody else wear them.
No doubt. Are they rose-colored?
Almost look magenta.
There's Baez now. He had the first hit of the game for the Cubs, an infield single in the 4th. Cubs with only 3 hits here today. Reds with 5, but the Cubs lead it. A Bote solo homer. We're in the bottom of the 6th. First game of the homestand. First game of this 3-game set with the Reds. Stop it.
I mean, you said for the wind, and I was tearing up a lot. The wind was getting in my eyes, and so I just went digging in the bag, and I found glasses. They got a slight magenta hue to them as well. And
are those Gucci?
They are not. They are from a gift shop in the Bellagio. Yeah.
I think KBs are probably a little cooler.
A lot cooler. Not a little, a lot. Tell you what, $40 doesn't go as long as it used to.
$40. The 1-1. And Hembry missing away. 2 balls and a strike on Baez. It's a Reds team that's beat up. Nick Senzel out right now for them. A pitch in the dirt. Mentioned that Votto is on the shelf for them also. Moustakas. Gutierrez started today with Wade Miley out, and they just had to put Jeff Hoffman on the IL. Three and 1 the count. Baez waits. Here it comes. One of the things we've seen with Javy this year, it's been talked about a little bit. He had a little stretch of time that he missed, but he's another one. I don't know that he's been fully healthy the entire year. That back has clearly been a problem. I mean, he had a stretch where he missed 2 to 3 games at shortstop, but if you watch him swing or in the field, he is just constantly stretching, trying to get that back loose. Runner goes. That's fouled off. They'll do it again.
Yeah, it's tough. The bumps and bruises, right? Early on in the season, it's cold. You get one little thing that flares up, whether that's some tightness in your back or a sore quad or calf or, you know, whatever it is, your wrist, and then you're constantly fighting that to play catch up. And he got those days off, maybe helped kind of get him back to feeling better, but you wonder if he was truly getting back to 100%. That takes more time. That's going to take a 10-day stint on the IL or longer, and that's the hard part. You know, you say, oh, I felt great at the start of the season, but that was about it.
Bryant going again. Pitch is cut on and missed. Throw to second. Tag. Out. So strike him out, throw him out. And a double play brings Ian Happ to the plate.
Good slider down and away by Hembry right there, just off the outside corner. Javy can't get to it. No need for a challenge on that one.
Happ is struck out, and he's also walked. 1-0 Cubs. Shift is on against the switch hitter batting left. Down at 96. Henry to the plate. Happ fouls it off. Chilly afternoon. Nice play. Guy just exploded out of his blanket and was able to make the grab. And now he's back tucked in away and has his baseball. Happ, the 0-2, way high.
They call that changing eye levels.
That's like a look from the Ferris Bueller seats right there.
Hey, bada bada bada. Kennedy. Swing.
Tomorrow it'll be Davies and Castillo. Same start time, 1:20. Happ started 2 but held up, and now it's 2-2. A run, 3 hits, and no errors for the Cubs. 0-5-0 for the Reds. And Pitchcast had that as a strike on the 95-mile-an-hour four-seamer from Henry. The kick to pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And we're headed to inning number 7. A David Bote homer, the only out.
Recording an earned run, and that is the most in franchise history, or the longest stretch in franchise history that we know of. Now, Andrew Chafin, you mentioned it earlier, Boog. He has been consistent all season long, and one of his fellow bullpen members, Ryan Tepera, has really come alive as of late, and the two have been having some friendly competition. Last night postgame, Ryan Tepera was talking about how they're constantly having competition about who's going to eat up the most innings. So they want the ball, and that's something that Tommy Hotovy has talked a lot about with this bullpen. It's just the chemistry, and they challenge each other night in and night out, and those guys specifically with that little competition, who's going to get more innings.
Well, they've both been great and dependable, and David Ross, it's one of those, nowadays every time he points to the pen, it's a good choice every single time, right?
Yeah, and he talked about it early on in the season, just throwing more strikes, trusting their stuff, throwing the ball over the plate, don't get in trouble with walks, and the guys have lived that. They've walked that motto, and you see the results, and they are just going out there time after time, whether it's runners on base, whether they're starting their own fresh inning, they're picking each other up. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, the shift on Sogard back, knocks it down, picks it up, and gets him. Good job by Eric, who ended up on the seat of his pants. Cubs, by the way, this year do not have an error from a second baseman.
If you would have said that before the ground ball, that ball would have scooted away.
No.
Yeah, that's how it worked.
No,
but because you waited,
Ryan,
knowing he was going to hit it to second.
But then the people start to hate me because they think that I have that level of power, and I don't.
They can barely get your coffee order right when you ask for it. So, yes, you do not have that level of power.
Castellanos 1 for 3. We were joking earlier. You talk about agents doing stuff in contracts. And I mean this kindly. Nick Castellanos, first and foremost, is a really good hitter.
Elite.
In his contract, he gets a $100,000 bonus for winning the Gold Glove.
Like equivalent. Put a comparison. What would that compare to, say, for like me?
Well, if you were to win the Silver Slugger.
Okay. All right. I can understand that. It's very fair,
right?
I was never going to win the Silver Slugger.
Popped up, foul ground, first base side. Bryant near the fence, and it hits the screen. A couple years ago, remember the Phillies lefty J.C. Romero?
Yes.
Reliever?
Yep.
He had a clause in his contract that paid him a bonus for winning the Silver Slugger.
Is that a trade-off? I wonder what that trade-off's for.
I don't know.
Now, Jason Hayward, if he had a clause for, Gold Glove. That's something that he's collecting.
That's exactly. Well, he's won 5 of them.
Yeah. So for him, that would be roughly, let's say, 500,000.
Yeah.
I know your math's not been super sharp today. But
no, it has not been. It has not been good. But I think Nick Castellanos also gets the bonus for a Silver Slugger, which he's got a really good chance at. But the Gold Glove, and he's worked hard to get better. Remember, this is a guy that started off. He was a third baseman to begin. He was a first-round pick by the Tigers. And a guy that you know well, Al Avila.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Dombrowski there in Detroit.
It's like a reliever having like the clause for World Series MVP, non-closer. Like it's just not happening.
Yeah.
The O lineman in football, Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah. He's working hard at it. He can swing the bat, period. I also love his attitude, just as the way he goes. He likes to play. He doesn't take himself too seriously. Yeah, the dirt.
No, he wears his emotions on the sleeves. We saw that when he came over to the Cubs from Detroit. He electrified Wrigley Field for half a season. Put up massive numbers, got rewarded with a big deal, signed with Cincinnati.
That's a block right there.
Little things in a game. There's a runner on third. We're talking about that block for days. That was impressive.
Comes a 1-2. And that one on a bounce, and it rips past Javy out into left center field. Castellanos with his second hit. And with 1 out, a man aboard. So the tying run is on. We're in the 7th. The Cubs lead it 1-0 on a David Bote solo homer.
Just a good job of staying through the ball right here. Good pitch, down and away. Almost swallowed up by El Mago at shortstop, but we talked about it. He's just a professional hitter.
So Castellanos aboard, and with 1 out, a man at first. Nick's got a couple of hits today. Off to a phenomenal start at the plate. And here's Naquin, who's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. There's a strike. I think I mentioned it earlier. His career high in homers, 14 back in 2016 with the Indians. He's already got 10. We're not even at June. If you were to go like A through F right now, what move was that for him?
That was a C- move. An F, he would have thrown it away. A D bounces. That was a C-.
Okay. Chafin comes set. Naquin, the 0-1. Here's the move.
This is when former pitching coach of mine in Florida Marlins, Brad Arnsberg, would yell, "He's got a better one." That's not his good one.
Andrew Chafin, we had him mic'd up for batting practice, and it was glorious.
Yes.
The 1-1. And that's lined out into left center field, and it'll fall for a hit. Peterson up with it. Castellanos will stop at second. And so a threat for the Reds, first and second, and 1 out. Not an awful pitch. Kind of didn't get the barrel on it, did he? Just got enough, and it found space out there as Jock was able to collect it. And now Tommy Javy will go out before Chafin goes to work against Tyler Stevenson. Well, this Cubs bullpen has been that anchor, that dependable spot for David Ross. I mean, not just over the course of the last 11 games, really the entire year. It's, one place they weren't getting length from their starters for the most part. He was going to the bullpen early. He still has been doing that, but these guys have been great all year.
Yeah, well, and as the starters, too, have progressed to a little bit more depth at 6th, pitching into the 7th, you keep those guys a little bit more fresh. And for them, when each reliever is doing better and they each start throwing a full inning instead of putting runners on base, it starts to have this trickle-down effect where everybody stays fresh, they stay ready, they get a day off when they need it. They're able to get out right-handed and left-handed hitters, and you're not having to play this game of mix and match all the time.
Here's the pitch, and that's in for a strike. Stevenson, who starts at first base, has a double, a walk, and he is grounded out. Didn't like that call, but that one was pretty much right there. Inside corner for a strike. He's shaking his head no. I'm not saying Bruce Dreckman hasn't missed some pitches today, but I don't think that one. Castellanos at second, Naquin at first. And that one to the right side. Sogard, tag, throw to first, double play. And it gets out of it. The Sheriff's in town. Cubs still lead. Our 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Direct your attention to the left field video board as Ernie Banks leads us with Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
The stretch. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, so we root for the they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes you out in the old game.
Bottom 7. The Reds today have left 10 on base, 8 in scoring position. And that's been a good part of the story. The Cubs have not mustered a ton offensively. The Reds have had the better of the scoring chances, but the Cubs lead it. David Bote solo homer. That's the difference in the game. It came in the 5th. Low liner cutting through the wind. Hembry back to work. Check swing. No swing, says Dan Bellino. Bundled up down there.
Did he go? No. Close.
Outside. Contreras 0 for 2. Heath Hembree was part of the Red Sox team that won it all in 2018. Pitched out of that bullpen as they won the World Series in 5 against the Dodgers. Two and one now. Contreras waits. Right field towards the line. Castellanos. I mean, that says it all right there. And that guy's hair is great. Two balls, 2 strikes on Contreras. It'll be Contreras, and then Ortega, and then Bote. 2-2. Again, foul out of play off to the right. Hembree, pretty big guy, 6'4", 220. Native of South Carolina, pitched at both the College of Charleston and the University of South Carolina, and was originally drafted by the Giants. One of the areas the Reds need to get better, we mentioned earlier, the bullpen. 2-2. Did you enjoy pitching out of the bullpen?
I enjoyed the fact that every single day you came to the ballpark, you had a chance to help your team win again. That was nice. It just was something that wasn't my favorite thing. Like, I love being a starting pitcher. I love the responsibility of every 5th day you were the one to lead the ship. I thought that was a huge honor to have.
And even though it's every 5th day, you have such control over the outcome of the game. The ball is in your hand every single play for half the game.
Yeah. And you know, the tempo, the momentum that you can swing one way or another. You can single-handedly beat a team out there. There's a reason some of the best teams might lose to a team that's inferior to them is because that pitcher is on that day.
Did he go? Yes, he did. And it's a strikeout. Here comes Bell out of the dugout. Looks like we're going to have a pitching change. And Heath Hembree is out of the game. So breaking the action. YMCA time. 1-0. And then you can get ice cream here, and you can come see the Reds and the Cubs. Sean Doolittle is the new pitcher. Budweiser pitching change. Say it, Dim.
Brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud is for you.
Former closer with the Nationals.
I never closed for the Nationals.
Well.
Oh, you're talking about Sean Doolittle.
Doolittle did, yeah. He's another one of these guys that's an interesting story. He was drafted by the A's as a first baseman. Couldn't stay healthy. Pretty good hitter. Two-way player at the University of Virginia. They converted him to pitcher, and he just rocketed to the big leagues.
And one of those guys that really lives and dies with his fastball.
Absolutely.
I'm throwing a fastball. Here it is. The perception on it, perceived velocity is harder than it actually is. Guys don't see it well.
Towards first, just foul.
And he proceeds to throw 2 sliders.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's starting to change because the velo has decreased, but you're still talking about a guy in Sean Doolittle, who's, four-seamer, has really good carry. So when we talk about what spin rate does, even the fastest fastball is affected by gravity. But so I've done pen graphics before, but it's basically like you can have two fastballs that are both 94 miles an hour, but the one with the higher spin rate is going to stay on plane longer. The other one is going to drop a little bit. So there's a bit of a difference between those two, even though they're the same velocity. Doolittle gets the strikeout. All right, time for our Geico making it look easy. And David Bote, how about making it look easy with a rocket through the wind? A line drive to lead off the fifth of Vladimir Gutierrez, just over the fence into the basket. That made it 1-0, and that is our score for Bote, his fifth. And the Boote Bomb is the difference in the game. With all the injuries, the other thing is for David Ross, you touched on this earlier, the defensive versatility of so many of these guys allows them to handle the injuries. For David Ross, yeah, you can play Bote at both second and at third, and Sogard at short, at second, and even third if you needed to. Brian, all three outfield spots, both corner infield spots. And so when these injuries come, it's certainly not ideal, but you have the flexibility to plug guys in all over the place.
Yeah, they don't devastate your lineup. And that's really, really important. Like, just for example, like if all of a sudden something happened to somebody with the Cardinals, Nolan Arenado's not going to play right field. He's a third baseman. Chris Bryant is an upper echelon third baseman, but he's also able to go play a corner outfield spot, can fill in for Anthony Rizzo.
Popped up Stevenson. India calls him off and makes the catch.
It's a luxury to have, Boog.
A lot of defensive versatility for the Cubs. We're heading to the eighth. It's 1-0. 1-0. Cubs lead it on a Bote homer. Tommy Nance, our Budweiser pitching change. This Bud's for you. 30 years old from Long Beach, California, and these look good.
Look really good. You see those numbers, that ground ball percentage right there. I know it's only 4 2/3, but he's been coming in. He's been throwing strikes. When they hit it, they've been pounding into the dirt.
First one to Barnhart. The breaking ball misses down and in. For 1-0. And that's downstairs. The Cubs this year have done a great job in the 8th and the 9th. And obviously Chafin and Kimbrel have pitched a good chunk of the important 8ths and 9ths. Today is Craig Kimbrel's birthday, by the way.
His 33rd birthday.
33.
And he shares a birthday with somebody really, really special to me, Boog.
I know.
My son Brady's 15th birthday today. Brady Dempster's sitting down there in the stands with his buddies. Something tells me they might have snuck out of the last little bit of school to be here. Dad said it's okay, though.
Okay.
He only turned 15 once.
So is there, do you give him a note, or how does that work? You just did?
I
that
just
was
did.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how notes work in 2021.
That is dead on. Happy birthday, Brady.
He's sitting there with a blanket wrapped up. There he's looking up. What happened? It's an F7, son. Write that down on your scorecard.
Oh, there he is.
I told him it was going to be cold today, and he decided a hoodie was sufficient enough.
Who went shorts?
His buddy Danny went shorts there.
Oh.
Yeah, they were all making fun of him.
That's a powerful play right there. Jeez. Oh my gosh, in on his hands. Get over, Tommy. Nice job. Bryant to Nance. And 2 down.
This ball right here. Sinker in. Get off me, ball. It's like one of those ones you start swinging at, you think it's a good idea, and it just keeps sinking in. Right on the label, the bat. I'm surprised that thing didn't shatter in 2. Great PFP work here. KB with the flip over to Tommy.
That one sliced foul. Tommy Nance been so good. Such a cool story. I know we touched on it. Signed out of Indy Ball in the Frontier League. Crestwood, Illinois.
I know we've talked about it a lot, but it's worth talking about because of the fact that, you know, here's a guy who perseveres through all these injuries and bumps and bruises along the way and twists and turns of his career path. Everybody arcs different, and he gets there to the big leagues, and he's been great so far.
That one into dirt, struck him out. Contreras to first. Tommy Nance stays razor sharp. Nasty.
Post-game live, guys.
Yeah, he had a big 2-run homer in game 2. And the Cubs, fresh off a sweep, they won 4 straight. And Sogard hits it towards center field, and making the grab is Naquin, 1 down.
Hey, want a beer?
Young man, say aye to the blandest lager in all the kingdom.
How about a Beam and Ginger Highball instead?
Yeah, definitely. Much better.
So here's Patrick Wisdom. Wisdom yesterday with his first homer as a Cub. And that was cool to see. Guy who had 4 big league homers prior to that one yesterday in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, just a great swing right here. Gets a little backdoor cutter coming over the plate. Says, I like hitting in Pittsburgh.
Sean Doolittle, southpaw. He makes his offseason home in the greater Chicago area, so he knows Chicago pretty well. That one upstairs inside. He's part of that Nats team that won it all in 2019. He and Daniel Hudson.
They were the back end of the bullpen, closing all the games.
They were the bullpen.
Yeah.
It was.
They were the middle and the back end.
I mean, holy cow. I mean, that postseason, it was basically Scherzer, Strasburg, Corbin, Sanchez, Hudson, Doolittle. Those 6 guys pitched. I bet you they pitched 80% of the innings in that World Series. That one drilled left field. This one back, and oh man, Winker makes the catch, and Wisdom put a pretty good charge into that one. We need some win metrics on that.
Yeah, he found barrel, squared it up, hit it well, just hit it too high, and into this win today at Wrigley Field, that ball is going nowhere. It's actually coming back into play. I bet you a no-win day, we're looking at the top of the bleachers right there because that ball was hit very, very well.
Sean Doolittle is no dummy if you've ever gotten a chance to speak to him. Really smart guy, charming. He knows he caught a break there. He knows. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
40 feet.
And that says 40 feet, but on a ball that high,
Right.
I bet you that's more like 60 feet.
That's minus 131 across the outfield in red, if you're of a mind to add them all up. I didn't, but Ethan did.
I was just going to be really, really impressed with your math skills and how much they've improved since the start of the game.
Oh, here we go. Taylor. I mean, that was every opportunity.
On.
Yeah, you had every chance at that. You know, you guys told me that I wasn't going to get a baseball up here. Like,
that was great. Here it is. Oh, just off the facade.
Taylor, did you think you had it?
No, I thought it was coming in the suite here, but I was not about to try to grab that thing, unfortunately. It comes at you pretty quick.
Yeah, it does. I'm officially scared, Demp, so.
I'd like to say I'd dive in front of it for you, Boog, but that would end up putting me somewhere down in the section 4 or whatever.
It wouldn't work well, no. That's one of those where you'd be hanging from the front edge of the booth. Jock got a piece of that one. 3-2. Nobody on, nobody out. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Inside, and it's ball 4. And David Bell is not going to let Chris Bryant face Sean Doolittle, so a 2-out walk. And Brad Brock coming in. Cubs baseball on Marquee Sports Network is brought to you by your local Hyundai dealer, who invites you to test drive an award-winning Hyundai car or SUV today. Find a dealer nearest you at Rock. And the right-hander will take over. Chris Bryant hitting here against the right-hander. Peterson over there at first, 1-0. KB sees it off to a sensational start. He's 1 for 3 today. That's a strike. So 2-2 now.
Consistent all day. He's been calling that pitch on the outside corner of the righties.
So now it's 3-2.
Good time to send the runner right here.
3-2, 2 outs.
It's the kind of insight you're going to get when you tune in.
There he goes. In the air, but foul down the right side. Jock will be on the move again. Payoff pitch to Chris Bryant. Outside corner, and it is strike 3. Bryant is gone, and Brock gets out of it. Craig Kimbrel will come it on. For one pharmacist recommended memory support brand. And by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Oh, I like that. Colorized. All right, we go to the 9th. 1-0 Cubs on top. And Craig Kimbrel to take over. Budweiser pitching change. This Bud's for you. Happy birthday, Craig Kimbrel. His 33rd. A 1-0 game, and the numbers spectacular. 086, strikeout rate 42.7, walk rate right about league average. And he deals to India. There's a strike. By the way, just need to get this in there. Tell me this isn't baseball 2021. It's a 1-0 game, and this is the 8th pitcher we've had in this one.
Things have changed.
Holy cow.
That's okay. Change is good, and it's been an exciting game to watch.
No question it has. Kimbrel deals. Swing and a miss.
I think the wind would definitely play a factor in the fact that it's 1-0. A couple balls hit really well that ended up on the warning track. Not David Bote's.
Low liner. I believe the launch angle on his homer was 21 degrees. The sweet spot's usually 25 to 30, so decidedly lower. On the ground to third. Bote waits for the hop, takes it in, throws high. Bryant holds the base, 1 out. All right, here's a look at our upcoming schedule. It's brought to you by American Family Insurance. Tomorrow, the Reds and the Cubs. It'll be Luis Castillo and Zach Davies. Sunday, we'll wrap it up 1:20. Then the Padres come calling Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday is Lou Gehrig Day throughout Major League Baseball. And Mark Payton will hit in the 9th spot. Ball for a strike. Is there anything you pinpoint on Craig Kimbrel that is different about the guy we saw in the beginning of last year? Because this guy is about as good as he's been at any point in his career.
Yeah, I just think that the sitting out for the first bit of 2019 derailed his progress back to being who he was.
Okay.
You know, like, he was so great. Hall of Fame trajectory, might still get there, we never know. And then had that little bit of struggles in Boston. There was rumors about him tipping pitches and guys knowing what he was throwing. Then he holds out for a better contract, gets a 3-year deal, shows up late. When you're playing catch-up, you can't reenact what spring training is all about. And so he was constantly swimming upstream trying to get back to himself. And then last year, the beginning of the year, 2020 was a weird year. All of a sudden he has a good spring training. Things get shut down, and then he's chasing it again, and then boom, it clicks.
Yep.
And that's hats off to Tommy Hotovy. Hats off to David Ross for sticking with him and persevering through that. And then hats off to him for continuing to be accountable, showing up every day, putting the work in, knowing that he would eventually get back to who he is. And what he's done this year is what we're used to seeing out of Craig Kimbrel. Lights out. Lockdown closer, dominant stuff, upper 90s fastball with a wipeout slider. Sorry, curveball. Most people's slider.
Right.
And he's been nasty, and that's just what a professional does and somebody who's been through the success that he's been through. Good for him.
1 out, base is empty. Cubs by a run. And a swing and a miss. Struck him out. 2 away. And Kimbrel 1 out away. Dangerous guy at the plate. The shift is on. Winker 0 for 4. Check swing and a ball in the dirt. Didn't go. Cubs this year with 27 wins, 10 of them by 1 run. They've played 19 one-run games. If it feels like you've been biting your fingernails a lot, you have. Tapped foul.
And that right there, Boog. The ability to be behind the count, you know, it's hard enough to square up 98, but when you have the ability to throw a breaking ball 1-0 to great hitters and have the confidence that you know it's going to be a strike, or right there, strike the ball. He's done that so well this year. Now you can just go wherever. You can go another one if you feel like. You can elevate with a fastball.
Inside, had to move the feet out of the way. And now 2-1. And when you say strike to ball, you mean a pitch that starts out in the strike zone and then moves out of the strike zone.
Yeah, like that pitch out of his hand looks to Winker like a backdoor breaking ball, and it just keeps coming down and in, down and in, down and in, and they can't get to it. Whereas if you start that, you know, out of the strike zone down, he's never going to offer at that. And that's something that last year, especially the beginning part of last year and in 2019, a lot of ball-to-ball breaking balls. Now he strike the ball.
So it stays out of the zone and stays out of the zone ball-to-ball. Okay. 2-1. Inside, that backs him off, and now 3 balls and a strike. And he's been working him in. And especially down and in. (3-1) right there for a strike, and now it's filled up. Inside corner at 97, and now here's the thing, right? It's 3-2. Is it a curveball or is it a fastball?
And without knowing what's coming, I probably think he's going to throw that curveball right here.
He did. Out in front of the mound, Kimbrel has it. Happy birthday, Craig Kimbrel. Cubs win 1-0 on a frosty May day here at Wrigley. And the Cubs improved to 28-22. The Bote Bomb, the difference. Time now for our toast of the game. It's brought to you by Binny's Beverage Depot. Binny's is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs. David Bote, that low line drive down the line to lead off the 5th. And that was the only run of the game. His 5th of the year. If you can't find it at Binny's, it's probably not worth drinking. David Bote delivers. And with the increased capacity, the fans stick around and sing a little "Go Cubs Go." Last time these two teams met, by the way, the final was 13-12. 1-0 the final. It's 5 in a row.